You went to school for over a decade. You learned about the French Revolution. You learned how to calculate the area of a triangle. You probably had to memorize the periodic table. But nobody, not one teacher, not one class, ever sat you down and said, "Here's how money works. Here's how to not be broke. Here's how to make your future easier instead of harder." Not once. And that's not an accident. Stay with me for 10 minutes because I'm going to fix that right now. Here's what's wild. The average person spends around 90,000 hours of their life working for money. 90,000 hours. And yet, most people have never spent even 1 hour learning how money actually works. Not how to save it, not how to grow it, not how to stop it disappearing the same week it arrives. And it shows. According to study after study, the majority of young adults live paycheck to paycheck, not because they're lazy, not because they don't earn enough, but because nobody ever gave them the rules of the game. Think about that. Imagine someone drops you into a football match. Full crowd, pressure, everything, but they never explained the offside rule. You'd be running around confused, making mistakes, wondering why everyone else seems to know something you don't. That's most of us with money. And here's what makes it worse. The people who do know how money works, they learned it at home, from parents who already had it, from dinner table conversations about investments, tax, and interest rates. If you were born into that dinner table, nobody taught you. Full stop. That's not a personal failure. That's a gap in the system. But here's the thing about gaps. You can close them. That's exactly what this video is for, and that's exactly what we're doing today. So let me give you the 5 things they should have taught you and didn't. These aren't hacks. They're not get-rich-quick tricks. They're the basic rules that make everything else easier. Think of them as the foundation, the roots before the tree can grow. Most people treat money like the finish line. If I just had more money, everything would be fine. But money isn't a destination. It's a spade. A spade doesn't do anything on its own. But in the right hands, with a clear plan, it builds something. It plants something. It creates something. The moment you stop chasing money and start asking, what do I want money to build for me? Everything changes. So before we talk about saving or investing, ask yourself one question. What is the life I actually want? Write it down. Seriously, even one sentence. That's your target. Money is just how you hit it. I know, you've heard this before, but stay with me because most people hear it and don't actually do it. Because nobody told them how. Here's the simplest version. Every time money comes in, split it before you spend it. There's a rule called 50-30-20. 50% goes to things you need. Rent, food, bills. 30% goes to things you want. Going out, subscriptions, fun stuff. 20% goes to your future self. Savings, paying off debt, investments. That's it. That's the whole system. You don't need a spreadsheet. You don't need a finance degree. You just need to do this before the money hits your current account and disappears. Think of it like cutting a cake before you eat it, not after. Once it's eaten, it's gone. But if you cut it first, everyone gets a slice, including future you. Future you will thank present you, I promise. Here's something they definitely didn't teach you at school. Interest is money that grows on top of money. When you save or invest, interest works for you. Your money earns more money while you sleep. Over time, that snowballs into something serious. But when you're in debt, a credit card, a loan, buy now, pay later, interest works against you. Every day you owe money, the amount you owe quietly gets bigger. Simple example, if you borrow 1,000 euros on a credit card at 20% interest and only pay the minimum each month, you'll end up paying back nearly 1,800 euros, almost double. Same principle in reverse. If you invest 1,000 euros and leave it alone for 30 years at 7% average returns, it becomes over 7,600 euros without adding a single penny more. Same force, completely opposite results depending on which side you're on. The goal, always, is to be on the right side of interest. Before you invest, before you go on a big holiday, before anything else, you need a buffer. Life breaks, cars break, jobs end, people get sick, washing machines flood kitchens at the worst possible time. Without savings set aside for exactly that, you have two options when it happens: panic or go into debt. Neither is great. An emergency fund is simply 3 to 6 months of your basic living costs sitting in a savings account that you do not touch unless something genuinely breaks. That's it. Not invested, not in crypto, just sitting there. Boring, safe, and ready. Think of it like the spare tire in the boot of your car. You hope you never need it, but the day you get a flat tire on a motorway at midnight, you are very glad it's there. Start small. Even 500 euros changes everything. It means one crisis doesn't spiral into a disaster. Build that first. Everything else comes after. This is the one I wish someone had told me at 18. Most people wait. They tell themselves they'll start saving when things settle down, when they get a raise, when they pay off that one thing, when life gets a bit easier. And life never quite gets easier, so they never quite start. Here's what nobody tells you. Time is the single most valuable ingredient in building wealth, and it's the one thing you can't buy back. If you save 50 euros a month, starting at 22, by the time you're 60, you could have over 120,000 euros, assuming average investment returns. If you wait until you're 32 to start, same amount, same returns, you'd have about 55,000 euros. Same effort. 1 decade of delay, half the result. Starting imperfectly at 22 is worth more than starting perfectly at 32. You don't need a lot. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start and let time do most of the heavy lifting. So let's come back to where we started. Nobody taught you this stuff. That wasn't your fault. But you're here now. You're watching this, and that's already more than most people your age are doing. Let me give you the 5 rules one more time, fast. 1. Money is a tool, not a goal. Know what you're building. 2. Always spend less than you earn. Split the cake before you eat it. 3. Get on the right side of interest. Let it grow for you, not against you. 4. Build your emergency fund first, before everything else. 5. Start now. Imperfect and early beats perfect and late. Every single time. That's it. That's what a whole school career should have included but didn't. In 8 minutes, you're already ahead. Now, here's what I want you to do. Pick one of those 5 rules, just one, and do something about it today. Not tomorrow, today. Open a notes app. Write down what your money is actually for. Look at last month's spending and split it into the 50, 30, 20 buckets, even roughly. Set up a separate savings pot just for emergencies and move 20 euros into it right now. One small move, that's all. Because that's how this works. Not one big dramatic change, but small consistent actions that grow over time. Roots before branches. If this was useful, and I hope it was, subscribe so you are the first to know about one new money topic and make it simple. No jargon, no judgment. Just clear, honest stuff that actually helps. Let me know in the comments which rule helped you most.